Daniel Cormier versus Anthony Johnson 2, the rematch, the fight that we've already seen play out, right? That's what makes this fight so fun, right? They could do this fight 100 times. It's all going to boil down to whether or not Anthony Johnson can land that huge punch and get things done with his hands, or if Cormier can use his wrestling. So because of that, I'm kind of looking at the intangibles, and to me, I think that favors Anthony Johnson right now. I think he's looked incredible in the fight since their first matchup. He just seems calm, cool, collected, more determined and focused than ever. And the other thing is, I wonder about Daniel Cormier's preparation. He's been busy doing TV. We've also had Cain Velasquez, Luke Rockhold, his main training partners, not spending much time in the gym. So for me, I think that's just enough to tip this thing in Anthony Johnson's favor. It's a coin flip. Daniel Cormier could easily win, but I'm picking Rumble this time around.
Picked Anthony Johnson the first time around, got burned a little bit. Cormier managed to avoid his big power strikes early, get the takedowns, wear him down to a submission. That could very well happen again. It's definitely possible if Anthony Johnson doesn't get a KO, but I think he eventually lands that shot in this fight. Might be early, it might be a little bit later on, but I think Anthony Johnson hits that shot, knocks Daniel Cormier out, and we have a new UFC light heavyweight champion.
Such a tough fight to call this one. Anthony Rumble Johnson has the punch power to beat almost anybody in this UFC light heavyweight division, but we cannot ignore the fact that DC took his best shot and came back strong. I think DC is going to be even more wary of Anthony Rumble Johnson's punch power this time round, and I think his overall game is far, far superior to Rumble's. I think he's got that grinding wrestling style. He's got heavy hands himself, we can't count that out. And I think he's got the gas tank to take it all 5 rounds. I fancy him dragging Rumble into deep waters again. He might have to negotiate a few tricky moments early on. I think he'll take it into the late rounds and finish him again. DC to retain.
I just think, you know, it's a hard one to really break down after the first one. Obviously DC was victorious in that. It was grindy, was gritty. Rumble's gas tank ran out. But if we look at the fight, I just think a lot of the things that Anthony Rumble Johnson has done in the lead up to this fight are going to help him out greatly. That power is going to be the big factor for me. He's brought in Greg Jones from West Virginia to help on his wrestling. I think his takedown defense is going to be vastly improved. I'm going to look for the knockout earlier, and I think this time he is going to land on DC. I know he landed the last time, but I don't think this time he's going to be able to deal with that power. An explosive victory for Anthony Rumble Johnson for me on Saturday night. New light heavyweight world champion in Buffalo.